Welcome. I'm Dr. Owen Anderson, and I'm a professor of philosophy and religious studies. And I often have my students ask me questions about pop culture. And so for example, we'll be going over a topic like, could the universe have existed from eternity with no beginning? And we'll talk about how well the universe is running down or tending towards sameness. So it's going to go through what is called the heat death of the universe, where everything is the same temperature, very low temperature. So if it had existed from eternity, it already would have reached that point after eternity, right? So the universe is not self-maintaining. It runs down. And we can go through lots of examples to show that, which I've done in other videos. But on this video, I'm responding to something the students will say inevitably, which is, wait, Professor Anderson, what about the multiverse? And the idea is that this is somehow another universe which is connected to ours and gives the energy needed to keep ours going. Maybe it's a parallel one at this current time, or there were universes before ours, like extending to eternity. So I'm going to look at both of those right now and see, can the universe save us from heat death? Let me switch here to my notes. So the multiverse. Has the universe existed from eternity with no beginning? Now, if the universe has existed from eternity, it would not go through a unique event like burning out, running down, the heat death, etc. Whatever you want to call that. Instead, it would be self-maintaining. If it is eternal, it does not depend on another being for its existence or maintenance to be upheld. It's eternal. It exists without beginning. So the reply here, the multiverse objection is perhaps there are multiverses that will give our universe the needed energy to keep going. So we're going to look at that. Multiverses that keep us going. Well, first, just a definitional point, which is important. Universe means the unity of all diversity. Unity plus diversity. That gives us the word universe. So if we start off and we think the universe is really small, then as we get bigger, let's say we think it's just our planet and the sun and moon, and we see, oh, there's planets out there also. So it's our solar system. And then we find out, well, there's other solar systems. Okay, it's a lot of solar systems. And then we find out, no, those are all a galaxy. So it's the galaxy. Oh, no, there's lots of galaxies. So, okay, the universe is a clump of a bunch of galaxies. But then we say, well, there's other things that are clumps of bunches of galaxies. Well, then all we've really done is expanded the universe. It's the unity of all diversity, all that materially exists, the material universe. So in that sense, multiverse is a oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp. There aren't multiverses, there's just the universe, and it's really big. It doesn't help the problem of burnout to add more universes. At best, that extends the time frame, right? But no matter how many zeros you add to the number of years before rundown, say you thought it was 18 billion and you add a million zeros to that number. I don't even know what that would be called. That is still less than eternity. It still would have run through all of that and be at the heat death. So that doesn't help us. The multiverse isn't at all helpful. So first point, there's just the universe. Second point, no matter how many universes you add, that still is less than eternity. It already would have run down at this point. And it hasn't run down, so it hasn't always existed. Adding more multiverses doesn't help. Next, another way this sometimes goes is alternate timelines. And this is a different topic altogether. So I'll just touch on it tangentially here, maybe do another video about it. But the idea is that all possible worlds and all possible things that could have happened are real. They did happen in some universe. And some of those look a little like ours because mostly similar things happened. Others are totally different. Now, again, this gets resolved just by the use of words. Typing too fast here, huh? Possible, meaning could be, but wasn't. Reminds me of Scrooge asking that question of the third ghost. Are these things that must happen or things that might happen if different choices are made? So these aren't what happened. They don't exist except for as ideas. Thinking through what would it be like? I remember one of my professors in graduate school thought there could be a possible world of just ping pong balls. That's all that exists. Well, I like to disagree. As we think through possible, we are still using the laws of reason, like non-contradiction. So a world of just ping pong balls is not possible because a world where all is matter is not possible. You can check out my video on that if you wonder, well, how does he know that? We'll give an argument that mind also exists and mind is not material. So possible gets narrowed down. What counts as a possible world? Possible world is still a question of reason. But let's say you still have a number of possibilities that don't directly violate the laws of thought, but they weren't real. They didn't happen. Could you bump into them? That's part of the multiverse. Like over here is a world where Anderson became a politician, not a philosopher. He went into law and then politics and not a philosopher. And I bump into that Anderson. Now, even if we connected with such a possible world and meet the other me there, it isn't me. It's like a twin, right? The twins aren't the same person. They're two different people that have a lot in common. So this is like another twin of me. Why is that wrong? So I got to say possible world here. And it is like a twin. And so it doesn't help with other things. Like some people think that somehow you'd achieve immortality with multiverses where you don't die. Well, no, another version of you doesn't die. Like as if one twin outlives the other, the first twin is still alive. Well, no, they're not. They died. Those are two different people, just with a lot in common. So the multiverse time thing at the same time doesn't do what people think it will do. It just like the multiverse as is a misnomer about universe, it's a misnomer about what's possible, what the word possible means. Possible but not actual, didn't happen. Say, well, it happens somewhere else. Well, then that gets us again into what's this somewhere else? Is it a spatial place? Takes up space, but not here. So it's like a one next door. Are we connected to them at all? The way that apartment buildings, rooms in apartment buildings are connected with doors. That's usually how it works in sci-fi, is because they want to be able to get back and forth. So again, that's just one universe. That's still just the sum total of all connected parts. If they aren't connected, then we can't know anything about it. Not even connected by our thoughts. And we can't even speak of it. Not connected with ideas, space, nothing, no connection. Well, then there's no way to speak about it. Completely other, not even that it exists. So recap, what were some of what we went over here? The multiverse doesn't help with the problem that matter is not eternal. It's a misnomer. There's just the universe, which is the sum total of all connected parts. And the idea of a possible world being an actual world is just a direct contradiction of what possible and actual are. And a lot of times what they claim to be a possible world isn't a possible world. It violates the laws of thought, like all is matter in that world. And then the idea that somehow you meet yourself. No, it'd be a twin, I suppose, right? In some other possible world. So this doesn't save matter, so to speak, from running down. Matter has not existed from eternity. Now, if you like this kind of thought, this kind of interaction about pop culture or about philosophical questions, join me on my Patreon page, Dr. Owen Anderson, and look for more videos here on YouTube. Thanks for joining me.